Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another Planty video. So I got this idea of choosing my favorite plant from each genus that I have in my home. Although I'm not going to be, some plants I have like only one from that genus, or I don't know, it's just like something random like that. So I'm going to include the main ones that I could think of, and I still have quite a few. I have 15 different groups that I'm going to be talking about. I guess most of them are grouped by genus, but some are just like string ofs or cactus or succulents, because there's so many different types like within that group that I just decided to group it as one. And I'm not going to be just choosing from the plants that I'm growing in my home. Most of my answers are plants that I'm growing in my home, but some I have chosen plants that I've either grown in the past or plants that I've never grown but that I would love to grow. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun video. I thought it would be a lot harder choosing my favorites since I only chose one from each group, but it was honestly kind of easy. Like it was almost just like an instinct. Like I went with my first answer that popped into my head. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Before we get into the video, I'm gonna give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Fabulous. Okay, so I have a really hard time keeping up with all of my daily routines, especially when my mental health is struggling. The Fabulous app is great for motivating me to stay on top of all of the habits that I know benefit me, morning, afternoon, and evening. I know when I'm not on top of my daily habits, everything else just kind of falls apart. Keeping these little promises to myself is so vital to my mental health. Fabulous is a digital coach that uses behavioral science to help you develop and stick to habits, enabling you to live the life that you want and deserve. It's interactive and 100% personalized, and you choose whether you want to opt for self-guided or guided approach. I've even started using Fabulous to keep up with my planty routines, and it's helped me to stay on top of checking and watering my plants every morning. You can build and track your habits or opt to go on a journey with dedicated programs to help you reach your goals. If you choose to go on a journey, you will receive motivating letters and commit to taking positive action for that week. The idea is to slowly build up your habits so that you're not overwhelmed. Your new habits will be added to your daily routine, and Fabulous will gently remind you to accomplish them. In honor of Mental Health Awareness Week, Fabulous has challenged me to join the 7-Day Meditate Challenge. I invite you to join me as well and start building your ideal daily routine. The first 100 people to click the link down below in the description box will get 25% off of a Fabulous subscription. All right, thank you so much to Fabulous for sponsoring this video, and let's hop into my favorite plants. Okay, some of them I actually have 2 answers. Most of them I have 1 though, but some of them I just like, I could not commit to just 1 answer. And that is the case for the first one. So the first genus is going to be Philodendron, of course, my favorite genus of all. I love philodendrons so freaking much. And when I thought about what would be my top favorite philodendron of all time, the one that popped into my head is Philodendron silver sword or Philodendron hastatum. I love them. I've said this a million times before, but I'm still mourning the loss of my giant Philodendron silver sword. It didn't die. I actually just sold it when I moved because it was so big. I don't know why I did that. Like, why did I do that? I don't know. I was on this weird thing where I got rid of pretty much every large plant that I owned. So yeah. I do have some baby ones though. I thought I would give a little update on what my baby Philodendron silver sword is looking like. Look at how freaking cute that is. And more of my wet sticks have actually put out leaves. So I am going to have, hopefully one day, a nice and full plant. This plant though, Philodendron silver sword, is one that I love the mature form. Like I love the shape of the leaves. It's just like, oh, it's the perfect plant, honestly. I know maybe it's not for everyone. I know everyone doesn't love silver foliage like I do, but the color, the shape of the leaf, like everything, it's just so beautiful. So I can't wait for these to get bigger, but right now they are just little babies. Yeah, definitely slowly growing though, which is awesome. I wonder if you can see any roots. Not really, but it's doing well. This is living in a humidity bin, actually. And then the one that it was kind of tied with, which I've been saying recently that this is my favorite philodendron because it's definitely one of my favorites. Obviously, it's like tied for the top spot. But of course, it is my Philodendron El Choco Red. y'all know she's struggling these days, but I can't deny how much I love this philodendron. It's so special. It's just like the prettiest velvety, beautiful philodendron, and it grew so well and so easily for me until it rotted. Unfortunately, still no action to update you on in the propagation side of things, but yeah, just an incredible, beautiful philodendron. It's so special as well. So those two are definitely the top philodendron that came to me off the top of my head. Love them so much. Now I'm like looking around in front of me and there's so many that I love so much. It's so hard to choose, but I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that as my final answer. Okay, next category is Monstera, and I had to choose my Monstera albo. I hope that that's not too boring or like basic of an answer, but when I thought about which Monstera I would keep if I had to get rid of them all and I could only keep one, I would definitely keep my Monstera albo. It's just so beautiful and it's really easy to grow for me. Like, once it's established, it's just been smooth sailing. So yeah, and it's so exciting whenever it puts out a new leaf. Like, nothing can compare to a new variegated Monstera leaf. I actually prefer the look of the Thai, and I love how big Thai constellations can get, but since I've had such a hard time growing mine, I couldn't choose that one. If I was able to grow Thai constellation well, that would definitely be my favorite Monstera of all time. But because I just have not had good luck, all I've had is struggle with mine, I just have to go with the albo. It's so pretty and it's just been so much easier, and yeah, it grows so much. I'm going to need a new pole soon because look how close it is to the top. So exciting. I've never propagated this or anything. I'm probably just going to extend the pole, and then maybe once it gets to the top of the extension, I will chop it, which that's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a big freaking deal because I've never done it before, and yeah, this plant is just special to me. It's kind of like the iconic plant that symbolizes like uncommon plants, I guess. Like, it just feels like a really big deal when you get your first one. That's definitely how it felt for me, at least. So yeah, definitely just a beautiful and pretty easy Monstera. Maybe I'll leave it here behind me so it can look cute in the video. Look at her. Oh, I love her so much. Okay, I'm gonna leave her there. Okay, so next is Hoya, and I of course had to choose Hoya compacta. I'm obsessed with Hoya compacta. This was like hands down my favorite Hoya of all time. I just think that they are so beautiful and unique, and I love trailing plants, and this is one that you can grow. It grows amazing just trailing. Some Hoya really prefer to be trellised, but I love how this just makes like a beautiful trailing plant. I would love to switch this to a plastic pot one day and have it hang from the ceiling, like a hanging basket situation. But yeah, mine has grown so much. I got this as just like a small little plant and it's really taken off. I really hope that I get some more blooms this year. I have new leaves all over this thing and new peduncles as well, so it's super happy, doing amazing. I have a feeling I'm gonna get some blooms probably like mid-summer, I'm gonna guess, just because that's kind of when mid to late summer is kind of when it bloomed last year. So I'll definitely be showing you guys if it does bloom, but yeah, I've had absolutely zero problems with this. I know some people demonize, actually a lot of people seem to demonize the compacta and say that it's pest prone and that the pests are gonna like get into the crevices and it's gonna be a nightmare. I've never ever had a pest on this. Like, it's just been such a hardy Hoya for me, and I don't know if I just got lucky with this specimen. I have two. I have the Monoloa and the regular variegated compacta, and I struggle with both of those a lot, so I don't know if it's just like the specimen or I don't know. I have no idea why I can't grow those very well, and I can grow this one super well. I know a lot of people have the variegated ones and they grow them out beautifully and they're super hardy and they have a great time with them. But I haven't really had that experience with the variegated ones, although I love them. Like, they're so, all I want is like a large variegated version of this. So basically any form of this plant I'm obsessed with. The compacta Jody Silver, oh my goodness, it's so freaking pretty. I actually looked it up online the other day because I was like, I wonder like how hard it is to find, and I literally could find nothing. Yeah, major dream plant, but for now I have my beautiful green one, which I love so much, just like, so pretty, everything. Okay, next is Scindapsus, and I had a bit of a tougher time choosing this because, as some of you might know, I have a really hard time growing this genus. The one that I've had the most success with, that I grew like a beautiful large plant of, was Scindapsus argyrius, which is what I was gonna choose for this category, but I had to go with my silver hero. Oh my goodness, it is so freaking pretty. So mine rotted and I rerouted it, and it is now in pond, so it does have some yellowing, so mine isn't like, doesn't look the best, but it's still just, oh, it's so pretty. I love this plant so much. It's rooted super well in the pond here. If you can see the roots, like, look at that. Oh, it's very happy in here, which is good. I'm also keeping this in a humidity bin for now. I have like a few smaller plants that are kind of getting established in a humidity bin right now, and this is one of them. Yeah, I decided to go with pond. I don't really know why I decided to go with pond, just to see if it would do any better, I guess. I don't know. This was in soil before and it rotted, so I just completely rerouted it, and this is where we are. I do also have a couple of wet sticks of this, I believe, in my prop box. But yeah, I'm such a sucker for silver foliage, and seeing a Scindapsus that's like completely silver, it's just like so freaking pretty. So yeah, big fan of this guy, big fan. If you have one, let me know. I don't see these very often. I would love to know how you grow yours, what substrate you use, and if you grow it climbing or if you grow it trailing. I would love to know, because I really can't decide how I want to grow this. I think I might want to do shingling or climbing, just because I feel like it's going to do the best that way, and that way the leaves will size up and it'll just like reach its fullest potential, you know. So I think that's my plan, but right now I'm just happy that I was able to reroot and save this, because I would have been not happy if I lost this plant, especially because it was a gift, super sweet gift. So yeah, yay. Next category is Begonia, and it was another easy one for me to choose because I'm seriously obsessed with this Begonia. This is like my favorite thing. I cannot get over how beautiful it is, just like how easy it's been to grow. Yeah, super hardy Begonia. Did I say what it was? This is Begonia Gray Feather, and oh my goodness, it is just so stunning. Like, look at the leaves. Are you kidding me? The first time that I saw this Begonia was in Charmaine on Plant Parenthood's video. She got one, and she was saying that it had like a very varicosum-esque look, which it totally does, and I love Philodendron varicosum. I just think that they're like some of the most beautiful plants ever. That would have been another close contender for my Philodendron category as well, but yeah, once she was talking about that, I was like, oh my goodness, like I absolutely need this Begonia, but I had never seen them for sale anywhere before. So she so kindly sent me a cutting of hers. So this is actually from her plant, which is really cool. But yeah, it's just like, oh my goodness, it's grown so much too. This is only one leaf, and it's grown so much, and it's got so many little baby leaves coming in. I don't know if you can see. I really need to repot this. Oh my goodness, it has so many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 baby leaves come. Oh no, 6. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Can you see them? You're not gonna be able to see them all. They're kind of everywhere, but yeah, so many baby leaves. It even put off this whole brand new little baby offshoot of a plant down here. Like, look, see, that's like a brand new little baby. This plant has just done the most, and not only has it done the most, but it is just like so freaking pretty. This is like my dream Begonia vibe here, and it has the dark red backs. Like, it doesn't get better than this, folks. It doesn't get better than this. This is just like so pretty. I did have another Begonia that I wanted to give an honorable mention to, and it is one that I don't own. I've never owned, but I would love to own, and it is the Begonia amphioxus. I just think that it is such a unique looking Begonia. I love, okay, so when it comes to like more like terrarium or more like exotic types of begonias, I know a lot of people say that they don't like them because they like look toxic, but that's exactly why I like them. Like the amphioxus with the bright like neon colors, I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is so freaking cool. I need that. I've never like really seen one for sale, so I don't have one, but that's definitely a plant that I would get in the future. Actually, maybe I should get that. I have been kind of thinking lately, since my birthday is next month, that I should treat myself to a birthday plant for like my one plant purchase this year, but I don't know if I actually will. But that's like one that I would consider getting for that, for sure, for sure. Okay, so the next category is Euphorbia. I love Euphorbia, and the one that I have chosen for this category is also one that I do not own, but I have owned it in the past, and it is the Euphorbia trigona. It's a fairly common, like probably one of the most common euphorbias you can find. Often mistaken for a cactus, which is what I thought it was when I first got it and knew nothing about euphorbia or cactus. I think it's commonly called the cowboy cactus, if I'm not mistaken, but it's the one that has spikes but also gets leaves. I just think that these are such a vibe. I'll have a photo up so that you can see my one that I used to have, but it was so massive. It grew so easily. Even though I didn't water it an entire winter one year, it dropped a bunch of leaves because I thought it was a cactus, and I didn't know that you had to keep watering them because it's more like succulent, like it's not like a true cactus. But I just love these so much. I think that they're so freaking cool. They propagate super easily. I did have a smaller one at one point. I bought cuttings from someone, but I don't know, somehow I don't have either of them now. Well, I didn't take the big one because when I moved, I just couldn't take a big plant like that. But I just think that they're so cool, like such a vibe. I would love to just have a massive one like that in like a porch or something. Me just like dreaming of owning a house with a porch one day where I could put plants. Okay, so the next category is cactus, and this was another no-brainer category for me. And the one that I have chosen is my beloved monkey tail cactus. How could I not choose this? Look how bizarre it is. Like, oh my goodness, I'm obsessed. I'm honestly still kind of shook that I was able to root this and like grow this into a plant. That's like pretty crazy. This is just the most unique cactus that I've ever seen. I am so obsessed with like the full baskets of these, and when they bloom, oh my goodness, I hope that I have something like that one day. Like if I can grow this into a full plant, that would just be like, oh my goodness, that would be so amazing. I'll probably be like 65 by the time that happens at this rate, but I can dream, right? I don't really know like what I should even do with this. Somebody told me that theirs grows like offshoots from the base here. Mine has never grown anything from the base. It's only given me these weird little things. I haven't even had this for a year though, so I'm not getting like, I don't know, too concerned, but I don't know, should I like chop and then like put the babies in? I don't know. I don't know what I should do. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. But yeah, I'm obsessed with this. I just think that these are the coolest cactus of all time. I love how hairy they are. They're actually kind of prickly though. I got some pricks from it last week when I was watering it. But yeah, I'm obsessed, incredible. I'll probably put this outside in the summer. Should I do that? Should I put it outside? I'm like, this is a plant that I definitely am going to baby and like just like be really careful with, but it would love being outside, right? It's a cactus, right? There's actually roots coming out the bottom. I wonder if you'll be able to see. I don't want to tip it over too far, but there's roots coming out the bottom, so I know that it's really well rooted in there, which is amazing. Okay, for my favorite succulent, I kind of had a more difficult time with this one because I really love the bear's paw, but I had to go with the burro's tail. You can't beat it. It's so freaking gorgeous. Again, makes a beautiful trailing basket. When people have large versions of this, oh my goodness, they're so pretty. They almost have like a bluish silvery tone to them as well. At least mine did that I used to have. I used to have one, and the thing is that they're extremely delicate. Like you look at these things wrong and they'll drop one of their leaves. They're just like, you have to be very careful if you're moving it or like walking by it or anything like that. Like they're so sensitive, honestly. It's extreme. So there was no way I could bring it. I mean, I could have brought it when I moved, but it just like would have lost a bunch of foliage and whatnot, so I didn't. But I miss that plant very much, and it grew so well for me. It's just such a look. Like that and the compacta, I've always said this, like for hanging plants, like if you want something unique in your home as a hanging basket, do the burro's tail or do the compacta. They're just so stunning. If you have enough light, they're gonna want like a medium to high light situation. I don't think that they would do well in something like north facing window, but oh my goodness, yeah, just so beautiful. I really need another burro's tail. Maybe that's what I should get for my birthday. Just like keep it simple, keep it affordable. Just get like a burro's tail. I'm sure I could find like a nice hanging basket too. Hang it in front of my window, wouldn't that be nice? Okay, next category is Epipremnum, and for me, there's no competition in this category. It has to go to the Marble Queen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, look at her. Oh my goodness. This is Greta, of course, and oh, she's looking incredible. Look at that. Oh my goodness, she looks so good. Look at this super white leaf too. Oh, how pretty is she? Ain't nobody be calling you basic. You are so, so pretty. Everybody needs a Marble Queen, seriously. Yeah, this is always gonna be my favorite Epipremnum just because, well, it's honestly stunning. Like, are you kidding me? This variegation looks like a high-end, expensive plant, but this is just like a pothos that you can pick up at a big box store for $5. Or find cuttings for free in your neighborhood. I'm sure somebody will be happy to give you some. But this is, yeah, not only is it beautiful, but it's so easy to grow. So easy, in fact, that this is my first plant that I have had for, oh gosh, I've had this for like 9 years now this summer. And this is obviously just like a cutting from, I had a massive, if you have not been here for a while, I used to have a massive version of this. This is where this one came from. But yeah, I had that plant for years, even before I knew anything about houseplants. And I was the type of person, like, I would bring a couple of houseplants in from like IKEA or whatever. I'd know nothing about them. And then of course they would die. But I had this massive Marble Queen pothos for years and years. And I would just like pour my cup of water in there every once in a while. Like, had no idea what I was doing. And she thrived. She grew massive leaves. Like, I don't even know how I did that. I feel like I wouldn't be able to do that again. The leaves, like, I'm not kidding. The leaves, she had some leaves that were like bigger than my head, my original version of this. So yeah, they can get massive. So much versatility. I feel like I'm like selling plants in this video. Like, I am not a plant salesperson. I do not own a plant store or anything, but I'm just like really, really selling these. The versatility of these plants too, you can grow them obviously as beautiful trailing baskets, and I find that they do really well as trailing plants. Like some things like Philodendron, like the Brazil and the Hartley Philodendron, they tend to get like skimpy, small growth as they trail, but I find that Epipremnum do really well trailing. Like this will maintain a lot of its size. Or you can grow it on a pole, up a plank. Like there's so many different things that you can do, and they will size up and get very massive that way, and they can even fenestrate, which is incredible. I would probably croak if this ever fenestrated on me. I kind of want to, once this grows out more, I know for sure I want this to be a long hanging basket so I can hang it on my bed, but I'll probably take cuttings one day and try to do the climbing version as well, because it would just be so cool to see this get really big. But yeah, these are incredible. I'm obviously a big fan of Marble Queen pothos. Okay, the next category is Syngonium, and I have one in my home that I am just obsessed with. I think it is so freaking pretty, and it is my Syngonium erythrophyllum. Look at that dark, glossy foliage. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is so pretty. I feel like a lot of plants are marketed as like black, like this is commonly called Syngonium black. And honestly, this is like the darkest, like the closest to black of any plant that I've ever owned. This is like, I guess it's pretty similar to the color of a ZZ Raven. Yeah, it's pretty on par with that. But yeah, it's just like, it's just so dark and beautiful. And the backs, oh my goodness, they have this like burgundy, deep red color. It is just so stunning. This plant has grown so well for me. This is pretty much came from nothing. It was like maybe 1 or 2 leaves that died off, and then eventually new growth came up. So really hardy, resilient plant, easy to propagate as well. I recently added little babies in there. You can see at the bottom there's little babies, so those were cuttings that I added back in, and they seem to be doing really well. Yeah, I just think it's so unique. I don't really have anything else like this in my collection, and I can't wait. Ooh, it's dripping because I watered it last night. I cannot wait for this to become a larger plant. I just think that they're so cool. They vine as well, so you can grow it as like a hanging, or you can grow it climbing. You can do, again, you can do anything with this one as well. Oh my goodness, it's dripping down my sleeves. What else? Oh yeah, I did have a runner-up for this one as well, and it is the Syngonium macrophyllum. Is that what it's called? Syngonium macrophyllum or macrophylla. It's the frosted heart, Syngonium, is my runner-up to this. Those are the two. Like, I'm obsessed. I've never had the frosted heart before in my collection, but it's been on my wish list for a very long time. I don't know when I will get one. I don't even know why I don't have one. I feel like they're not like that expensive or unattainable, but I've literally wanted one for like 3 years and I still don't have one. So maybe that's what I'm just like getting all these ideas. I'm like, maybe that's what I should buy for my birthday. Watch me end up buying like 5 plants. No, I'm just kidding. Not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. But yeah, the frosted heart, like, oh my goodness, those large leaves with the frosting or variegation or whatever, it gives it like a very like textured, it's just, oh, it's so pretty. I love that plant so much. Okay, next category is Anthurium, and my favorite Anthurium is the vittarifolium slash, I couldn't choose between them because I've never grown the pallidiflorum, but that could very well trump this one. It's hard for me to say, but just like the strappy belt-like Anthurium, I think that the vittarifolium stays a little thinner and like stays just really true to that like thin strap leaf type of vibe. The pallidiflorum is like very similar, but I do think that it gets a little bit wider. So yeah, just really into the strappy Anthurium vibe. I cannot wait for mine to grow more and just kind of get that look. Obviously mine is still small and young and it doesn't quite have that like hanging belt leaf look yet, but it is growing really well. This is a new leaf that is coming out right now. Look at how cute that is. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. This thing grows like a beast. It puts out new leaves all the time. It's been relatively easy. I do keep it in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet because I think that they need a little bit of extra humidity, so that's what I've been doing, and yeah, it seems very happy. I'm looking forward to the day where I get a longer leaf than the ones it's given me. I think this is probably the longest leaf it's given me, and it just makes me really excited for what's to come. These are just so gorgeous, so unique. I'm not a huge Anthurium person, I will say. I'm definitely getting more into Anthurium. Like, I have several seedlings that I'm growing, and I've just been having such a great time growing those. And I have my forgetii, but I think that's all the Anthurium that I have. However, there are a few that I would love to grow, and the pallidiflorum is definitely one of them. They're so beautiful. They have more of like a velvety leaf as well, so yeah, very pretty. A little bit more uncommon than the vittarifolium. Like, you'd probably have an easier time getting your hands on this and it would cost less. But yeah, I would actually like to grow them both to kind of be able to compare and contrast them a little bit. Low key, I think that the Hoya linearis is my second favorite Hoya. I don't know why I'm saying that right now, I just had to get my thoughts out there. Okay, so for the next category, it is going to be string ofs. So I'm including just like any string of whatever, string of hearts, string of spades, string of needles I have. Oh, a massive bird, like an eagle or something. It's just flew outside. Wow. I've grown string of dolphins, string of pearls. String of dolphins was a nightmare for me. They just came out looking like bananas. I think you need really high light to be able to grow that nicely, but my favorite of all these string ofs that I've grown or that I've seen is the variegated string of hearts. I had to go with this one. I just think that they're so stunning. Okay, I have to say, my specimen is not it. Like, I'm not sure what is wrong with mine, but I just cannot get this to grow into a nice plant. It's so wrinkly and unwell looking. Like, I don't even know if mine is going to come back from this. I think I would buy another one to replace it. Yeah, all these leaves look like they're dying. Like, mine is so wrinkly and unwell. I don't even know why I'm holding this up as an example. I should have just like found a photo and put that on the screen. But y'all, I think a lot of us already know what variegated string of hearts look like. And you guys, you know how pretty these can look. Like, oh my goodness. I love string of hearts, first of all. But the variegated version, it just gets like so pink, and the white and the green, and oh, it's so pretty. It's just like such a vibrant version of string of hearts, and I think that that's why I really like it. It's just like very eye-catching, very colorful. Yeah, I just think that they're so pretty when you have like a nice healthy version of this. The thing that sucks about this is what's going on here? I parted my hair I had several of these string of hearts because I grew mine out and then I propagated it, but I sold them all. Like I used to just chop and prop and then grow these cute little babies and then I would sell them. But now I just like wish I would have just kept like a larger plant or like kept one of those other ones for myself, because for some reason the one that I've ended up with just like looks like this, and I'm like, okay, like I had so many that were so nice and healthy and now I'm gonna end up with like 0 because this looks like it's on its last legs. But the good thing is that those are becoming more attainable. Like the last time I was at a plant shop, which was like honestly a long time ago, like a couple months ago, they did have pots of variegated string of hearts and they were only like 15 bucks or something, so I could easily replace it. But you know me, I'm trying to salvage the one that I have and grow it back out, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it's the one I had to pick. I just think that they're so special. Okay, the next group is Calathea, and this is such an easy answer for me. I'm literally obsessed with this plant. This is Calathea warshawixii, and it is also known as the jungle velvet Calathea. It's a very velvety, dark, soft foliage Calathea. These get massive. This in a large form is like my dream plant. I'm so obsessed whenever I see large versions of this. I also like the Zebrina. Those kind of have like a similar look, but the warshawixii I think is the one for me. I'm so obsessed. This died back to pretty much nothing. This rotted, died back to pretty much nothing. I grew it back. I'm so happy. This is obviously just like a very tiny plant that I have managed to grow back, but it's growing back, you guys. And look, there's even a new leaf coming in, and I didn't even notice that until today when I grabbed this right now. So that is freaking exciting. Yeah, I just have this in soil now, just like a chunky potting mix, and it just sits out in my living room. I don't have it in a cabinet or anything. I used to have it in pon in my greenhouse cabinet, and that's when it rotted. So I'm like, okay, we're just gonna avoid those things, and the humidity isn't terrible in my house, so I think it'll be fine. But yeah, these are just like, oh my goodness. If you have a large one, please send me photos, DM me photos on Instagram, because I would seriously love to see. I'm just obsessed with these. It's just like such a beautiful centerpiece in a home when you have like a giant one of these like potted up nicely. Oh my goodness, it's just like, yeah, so beautiful. So yeah, Calathea warshawixii, they really are like so soft, especially the bottom of the leaf. Like, oh my goodness, you just really have to be on top of checking on these for spider mites and everything. Definitely a plant that you want to spray prophylactically, you know. So as long as you keep a close eye, don't let it dry out terribly. Like, it can handle some drying out, but you don't want it to be like bone dry for a number of days or anything like that. But yeah, I'm so excited to see this growing again, and I can't wait to give updates to you guys on how it's doing. Like, this is definitely one of the plants that I'm most excited about growing out right now. I always say that, but in reality, it's like I'm excited about growing all of my plants out. Like, I don't know why I even say that, that there's some I'm more excited than others, because I'm obsessed with them all. Okay, so the next group is Maranta, and this is another one that I do not have. I've never had this plant, but it is like such a wish list plant for me. I love these so much, and it is the Maranta Silver Band. Oh my goodness. Okay, first of all, I love Maranta. I feel like they do not get the hype or the attention that they deserve. Like, Maranta are freaking amazing. They've been really easy for me to grow in the past. Like, I've had several large ones. I've had the green one, I've had the red one, I've had the variegated ones. I still have a variegated one that I showed that in one of my last couple videos back, and it is just like doing the most. It looks incredible. Oh my goodness, the variegated ones are amazing. That would be a close runner-up to my #1 favorite Maranta as well, just because they're so like diverse, the way the variegation comes out and the colors on that plant. But anyways, the one that I picked is the Silver Band. Just like, oh my goodness, when I see these in photos or video, I'm just like, I'm honestly shook. Like, they're so pretty. There's also one called Maranta Black, which is quite similar actually, but it's like a darker foliage, and both of them, they're so beautiful. Yeah, I just think Maranta are underhyped, underappreciated. If anybody loves Maranta, let me know, because we need to like form an alliance or something. Okay, and the next, actually this is the last category, and it is Alocasia, and I have not grown that many Alocasia in my home. And I feel like the one that I picked is gonna surprise some people, because I think most people would think that I would choose the Alocasia Dragon Scale because I have a large one that I love, I'm obsessed with it. But if I had to choose my favorite Alocasia, it would be this one. my Alocasia micheliciana, or you might know this as Alocasia frydek. Yeah, this is just like, it's so beautiful. The reason I love this Alocasia is because it has this really deep, dark green, velvety leaf. I love that so much. I love like the really deep, dark tones in my plants. Like if it's not silver, I want it to be deep and dark, you feel me? And this is just like, this is just that. And the other thing that I love about this is how big they can get. Like these leaves can get massive, you guys. If you look at some of the photos that are on Instagram and whatnot, I mean, I doubt I will ever be able to grow this to be like massive in my home. I mean, never say never, but yeah, they can get quite massive, and I just love that. I love the potential for them to get so big, and this has been quite an easy Alocasia for me to grow. I've actually had good luck with a lot of the Alocasia in my home, actually. There's only one that I've really struggled with, and it's my Alocasia black velvet, and I think that just like might be an issue with the plant itself, because yeah, it's just like not, it will only sustain one leaf, and I don't know, some people are commenting maybe that corm can only handle one leaf at a time, which like maybe that's the case. I don't know, but I've never had any problems with this plant, and I love it so much. I just think that it's so beautiful. It's so iconic. Like when I think back to when I first got into plants and like seeing like rare plants, like I just feel like this was such like an iconic one. Like you would see photos of people with like the massive Alocasia frydek leaves, and yeah, it just like really gives that jungle vibe. So yeah, love this guy so much. I find that it can sustain a large number of leaves at once too. Like a lot of Alocasia will only have like 4 or 5, and then they'll drop as soon as a new one comes up, but this one can handle like quite a few. And I'm definitely going to be just like creating a fuller pot with corms and whatnot. So yeah, I love this one so much. It's just such a beautiful Alocasia. Alright, so that is going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun making this one and picking out all my favorites and talking about them to you. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. I would love to chat with you. Also, don't forget to check out the Fabulous app if you are looking at implementing some new healthy habits and routines into your life. That will of course be linked down below, like I said. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!